What?
You can intro.
How do you do it?
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Umineko Naku no Chiru.
What did you call this?
Umineko no Naku kono ni?
You said
What's Chiru?
Umineko no Naku Chiru.
I didn't. I said Koro ni Chiru.
No, I definitely didn't hear that. We're getting back into what I assume is the cousin's room. If memory serves me correctly.
Yeah. So we've left the Beatrice versus Beatrice meme. And we're faced with Shannon. Okay, Shannon.
Back then I was, and I guess I still am, a bit of a klutz. I always forgot where I put things, or think I'd looked something up when I'd actually forgotten. I caused a lot of trouble.
I remember how Aunt Natsuhi used to get mad at you all the time.
But eventually Shannon managed to overcome all that forgetfulness.
Oh, and how'd you do that?
It wasn't anything big, but I got into the habit of writing things down. I'd write down wherever I put something important. For things that happened often, I made a checklist and always made sure to check it.
So, did you see Beatrice or didn't you?
Oh, I didn't see her directly. But, some very strange things did happen.
Angie?
Mm-hmm.
She was talking about a certain summer night. Shannon had been doing the nightly rounds. From her perspective, it was a ghost story. From the witch's perspective, it was just the story of a little summer's night prank. That was a long pause.
I think it's the
timing.
No, the updated thing, it kind of lags a bit.
Little sister, do you understand the anti-magic toxin that humans possess? No. What is it, One-sama? Well, the time of witches has long since passed. Those vile humans who claim to rule over everything came to deny our existence and possess a powerful toxin. Is that toxin harmful to us? It is extremely dangerous. If we were exposed to it, our forms would probably evaporate in an instant. However, one thing we do have in our favor is the fact that our existence is still extremely weak. Because of that, the toxin does not affect us greatly. At worst, it can only transform us into mist for a time. However, we'd rather avoid it if we can, right? Correct. Yes, I see that you are indeed me. You catch on quickly. The older sister appeared to be haughty at first, but perhaps because she was so happy to have met her double and little sister, she was more than willing to teach her anything she wanted to know.
Do you do these bits? No, shouldn't know.
The first thing she taught was that they were witches, a different type of being than humans. Beato had thought her inability to use magic meant she wasn't a witch, but apparently she was still a witch nonetheless. And she learned that witches like her were bound by various limitations, unlike humans. The greatest of those restrictions was the anti-magic toxin possessed by humans. So, in other words, we mustn't enter a human's field of vision. Correct. You can think of it as though human eyes radiate the toxin. If they see you, it is the same as your body being burnt. And though the effect is weaker, being heard or sensed can also result in contact with the toxin. So even just getting close to humans is dangerous to us. Wasn't Father a human? Why am I not burnt by Father's toxin? If we stock up magical power and have it acknowledged by humans, that toxin can be reduced drastically. In other words, by having our existence acknowledged by humans, we make them lose their toxin, making it possible for us to appear before them once more. I see. Simply put, as we are now, we can only exist where humans aren't around. We are still very lacking in magical power, which makes us inferior to even a stray cat hiding from humans in the shadows. The main goal of the older sister was to gain a large supply of magical power and be revived as a great witch strong enough to have no fear of the anti-magic toxin. For that purpose, she had wandered around the mansion night after night, striving to regain her magical power and reduce the anti-magic power of the humans. The powerful previous Beatrice, whom she had read about in Featherine's library,
or narrator,
had appeared openly in front of humans and had even toyed with them at will. Well, it's Beatrice now! According to her big sister, such a level of power was most impressive. To think that a witch could appear openly before humans and use magic at will! A witch like that would be so great that even I can hardly imagine it. Is that what we will eventually become? Yes, she was like a witch from a picture book, appearing openly before the humans of the mansion and summoning magic and underlings at will. How inspiring! If that is our future, it means that all of our hard work will have been worth the effort. That's right. Anyway, One-sama, how is that goal connected to going around unlocking windows like this?
It was the middle of the night. They were following behind servants who were checking the locks on the doors and windows, and undoing those locks after the servants thought they had been set. It felt more like a child's prank than the work of a witch.
This is the path that leads to becoming a great witch. All journeys begin with a single step. To those who cannot understand, that first step may look quite foolish from time to time. However, it is still a momentous first step.
With pride as though making the first step for mankind on the surface of the moon, the older sister undid the lock on a window with a click.
Do you not understand, little sister? Can you not see why a thing like this is so momentous? No, One-sama, I don't really understand.
The older sister closed her eyes lightly, smiled, and opened the unlocked window with a crack.
I'm blind!
Cool outside air flowed in, making the curtains flutter.
Let us put it in the toxin-filled words of a human. We are not supposed to exist on this island. I shall go further. Right now, there is no one in this corridor. And yet the lock has been undone and the window has opened. Can you see how great a miracle, a work of magic, a proof of our existence that is? Even you should understand the coolness of this breeze. I do understand. It's nice and cool. The coolness, the softness of the breeze, and the feel of the fluttering curtain touching your hair. All of these things show that we truly are here. So, by unlocking the window like this, we can leave behind proof that we really did exist. And that is why I unlocked it.
Of course, it wasn't just small pranks like opening a window. She could also smash windows and vases, or leave behind strange fires and mysterious scribbles. In fact, one time she actually did play a large-scale prank in the kitchen, piling up kitchenware in an eerie manner and leaving behind a bizarre scribble, which scared the servants considerably. It was a complete success. She'd really managed to scare the servants and had succeeded in making them acknowledge the existence of magic, weakening the anti-magic toxin. However, she usually chose to make her presence known by unlocking windows. The act of unlocking symbolized her release from the limitations imposed by the human's toxin.
One day we will become a single witch and rule over all of Rikenjima. When that time comes, we will gain freedom and will be capable of stretching our wings as we please. We won't have to be afraid of anyone's gaze anymore. We'll be able to fly wherever we wish, disappear whenever we want, laugh however we like, prank however we like, talk with anyone we want to. Humans might ask things of us from time to time. They might fight with us or play with us too. What wonderful things for us frail creatures who cannot appear before anyone to look forward to. Right now, they are little more than pranks. However, as they pile up, proof that we exist will begin to gather. The servants already call me the witch Beatrice, master of the night, and are beginning to believe in me bit by bit. The more they believe, the more those humans will lose their anti-magic toxin. I see. So this means that Father has no anti-magic toxin, and that's because he truly believes in the existence of the witch I am, without any doubts. I finally realized that, though I thought him to be cold, Father does possess a kindness that can't be seen. I'd like to become a great witch and appear in front of everyone soon. Indeed, eventually we will be able to appear openly in front of anyone. By doing that repeatedly, we shall make people believe in us even more, and eventually we shall display even our magic for all to see. At that time, we shall descend upon Rikenjima as the great witch you told me of. The logic of the witch side is quite interesting.
I don't know if they're going into it now, but I think we've talked about it before a long time ago, but just want to see if you have any thoughts on like the whole anti-magic toxin thing from the humans and all that, and that the witches can't handle it too well.
What do you mean?
Like, just what do you think about it? Because they're supposed to be like great witches and stuff, and just the fact that a human's sight can like burn them essentially.
Isn't it kind of counterproductive though? Because if a human sees them, then surely that means they have to acknowledge their existence. But it's like seeing them to acknowledge their existence erases their existence. It's kind of like counters each other out. What I do have that keeps, which is not what your thought pattern is going to at the moment, but what I do keep thinking of is the scene, I can't remember which chapter it's in, but the scene where Battler is getting, you know how they like Kinzo tests all of the children to see their answers, and Battler is like they're all confronted with like someone, and Battler has to face off Beatrice, but he faces off like this, I don't know what to call it, this schoolgirl uniform Beatrice, and then he couldn't remember because she's like, what is your like sin against me, or like something like, or what are you sorry for?
So he faces the usual Beatrice that we're used to, and then when he can't remember, she, I guess, gives up and then passes on the rest of the riddle to the other Beatrice, so that he can finish the test with her instead.
Is that like in a reference to him being the father? So was that actually Chick Beatrice?
I don't know.
You do know! Because that's what I'm like, oh, because then it really is a time loop in my time traveling, I don't know, theory at the beginning was not as much of a joke as you made it out to be.
Well, I don't know. Just with the discussion the two Beatrices had just then, I was like noticing some more hints, I guess, symbolism.
Well, what do you think of my confusion about it sort of cancelling each other out? Like,
It's
the way they did it, it sort of makes sense. Like, I guess it's basically them trying to prove that they exist.
Yeah.
Which is what it's been about the whole time, I guess. Like, showing that Battler's trying to prove that magic isn't real, and then they're like, yes, we are real. And it's that, like, magic versus mystery.
So there's people that, like Kinzo, they were mentioning, doesn't harm them.
Yeah.
Someone like Maria wouldn't harm them.
True.
Because they believe, like, in their hearts, like, oh yeah, magic is real and stuff.
Yeah. And the servants kind of end up working with them, or like they obey Beatrice, we've seen in previous.
So the servants kind of like, they had all the, like, the ghost stories and the rumors going on around them. They had that. Because they're in the workplace, you know, you've got that kind of clique vibe, and everyone tells the stories of what's going on, what's happened. So they've kind of, I think they started like the whole, oh no, there was the Witch of the Forest and Beatrice and everything, because Kinzo had mentioned her.
Yeah. I did think it was interesting in the previous recording we just did, where the elder Beatrice was like, that shrine is ruining, like, it's weakening me, and we know that the shrine was not there at the beginning as well. Like, hadn't it been destroyed in a storm or something?
So in the, like...
isn't it in the very first episode?
Yeah. They mentioned that the shrine is missing. Like, the shrine that was there was completely gone. People said... There were rumors about that too. There were people saying, like, it was just washed away, or people saying it was struck by lightning. There was, in episode 2, I think, Shannon going to the shrine and breaking the mirror.
I don't remember that.
So it was when she went to the aquarium with George.
Oh.
So it was like before the game had started,
yeah.
and it was showing some backstory. So she had done that to kind of help Beatrice, and in so doing that, helping herself in her relationship, because she wanted Beatrice's help to get closer with George, and, like, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
But the shrine was no longer there.
So, like, Shannon... But it's also interesting, too. Like, Battler's whole purpose is to deny their existence, and yet he has kind of birthed this chick Beatrice as well.
Yeah. So he, right now, would also be like a, he would be no harm to witches in
Yeah,
sense
but
of anti-magic
it's just like, it's counterproductive. I feel like we're walking backwards.
Well, why would it be like that, though?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Don't ask me hard questions. Okay. So let's get back to Featherine.
The logic of the witch side is quite interesting. It keeps me entertained.
It does sound credible, in a way. When humans are frightened to hear that they've entered a ghost hotspot, they're likely to start yelling, "Ghost, ghost," at the drop of a hat.
That's right. At a fundamental level, all phenomena are neutral, indifferent, and dull. If you want them to be viewed in a certain way, you must first create a suitable environment.
If a person has charisma, people will interpret what they do in a positive way, even if they screw up. I see. I guess in that sense, the Beata's small efforts aren't misguided.
If it was just the mansion's locks being undone, everything could be resolved by saying that someone forgot to lock up, or that it was some kind of prank. However, the rumors of a witch wandering about the mansion night after night slowly began to take shape as the existence of the witch. an environment was established so that if anything strange happened in the mansion at night, it would all be viewed as the work of the witch. I get it. If you follow that reasoning to an extreme, then what you get is no different from a witch existing in the mansion at night. After the Beatos finished their mischief of unlocking and opening the window, they enjoyed the coolness of the wind and the brightness of the moon, then became gold butterflies and disappeared into the darkness. There was no way of knowing whether the window they had opened had actually been opened by them. The servants might have forgotten to lock up, or one of the family might have opened it after the servants had locked up and forgotten to shut it again. Or maybe someone had played a prank. In the same way that none of those possibilities could be denied, it was also impossible to deny the possibility that a witch really had opened a window to enjoy the night breeze. A result without an observer can possess an endless number of ways in which it might have occurred. Humans who can't grasp anything more than a single possibility are unable to imagine anything. However, people who believe in the possibility of a witch can imagine that it was a witch's prank. When that happens, the scene of Beatrice's prank that we have just seen is etched into the fragment as a fact. That's one of the foundations of magic, embellishing the process. With just a little magic, even a mass-produced stuffed animal can be reborn as a wonderful, unique stuffed animal filled with a mother's love. If you doubt it, it'll be burned by the anti-magic toxin.
Huh?
What?
Huh?
What? What?
You're not reading what you read?
No, not really. Well, I'm reading, but it's not really going into my head. Okay,
Is this a callback to Saktara?
well, definitely.
Okay. Because I was like, under the assumption that she had made two.
Sakutaru's.
Yeah. Remember, because she tore it apart. And then...
But didn't they say Rosa did make two?
Well, it never said Rosa made two. It said, like, Rosa mentioned that she was making she wanted to make one that was like the size of a pillow, but she ran out of time, so she made a smaller one.
Mm-hmm.
So that was under the assumption she hadn't made like a bigger one, or was in the process of making a bigger one, so she still had like an unfinished Saktaro there.
Yeah.
But then she didn't have time, so she just made a quicker, smaller one.
Yes.
But this here is saying a mass-produced stuffed animal, so she straight up could have just bought it somewhere.
Do you think Rosa actually bought it?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out from what is just mentioned here.
Man, that would just make Rosa even more of a liar. No, Rosa, why?
I don't know. I don't remember this line. Like, it might just be it might not be related, but
Wait,
I feel like it would be.
Does that mean... Hang on. Does that mean what you're thinking is that Rosa bought like a generic stuffed animal, and it was her love combined with a little bit of magic that changed it? Because it was reborn.
So, essentially, she could have just lied and said, I made this for you.
Yeah.
And that makes it much more different to Maria, who's like, oh, wow, she put in this effort to make this for me. It's special.
But if it was mass-produced, then surely Maria would have picked up that there must have been something to change it, to make it unique to Maria, or was it just the fact that it was from her mum that made it unique to her?
Well, yeah, the fact that her mum gave it to her and supposedly made it for her made it unique. there also could have been some. She may have altered it because she was a designer.
Yeah, well,
fashion
that's
designer.
that's why I didn't really question it in the beginning, because you're like, she's a designer. I assumed that she had knowledge in sewing and skills in that area. That making a stuffed animal wasn't a big deal to her. Because does she make Maria's clothing?
I think she may have made some of them. I can't remember. I don't know if it's mentioned or not. I feel like it would be.
Yeah, I thought maybe there was something about that. Sakutaro.
I don't know how to feel about this. Is he actually... Did she make him, or did she just buy him and then maybe alter him a bit?
Well, if you're having these questions and this is like your, third time reading through this?
Hey, I'm picking up on things that I didn't pick up on the first two playthroughs, so...
Well, that's the beauty of Umineko, isn't it? You just keep picking up on things. It's kind of crazy, though, to think like that the writer can be thinking of all this stuff.
Yeah, no, when you get to the end,
My mind will explode.
No. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
I don't know, we'll see.
Well, my mind's not doing a whole lot of things at the moment, so it's, yeah.
Well, I have some questions in mind that'll kind of reveal a lot, but I might save them for towards the end of the episode.
Okay. Fair enough.
Because with the stuff, it's related to this episode, and there are hints that should give you a pretty solid...
You
I know.
you say that like it's really obvious, and you've asked me questions before in the past, and I'm just like,
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I feel like...
ADSL dial-up tone.
Yeah, that's why I feel like if you can't pick up on it, then I will give you these hints, question hints in this episode.
Okay.
To give you something, at least. Because next episode is just going to be a lot more.
How far? We're only at the beginning of this episode, though, aren't we? I can't remember.
Roughly, yeah. Probably about, what is this, part 5, chapter 5? So, probably like a quarter of the way through.
Okay. Let's continue, shall we? If you believe it, that magic will become the truth. Not all magic is bad. Maria Onechan was right. Good magic exists too. It may be necessary for a child of man to possess the power to repel evil magic. However, refusing to burn away and defile love-filled magic is part of how love in the human world works. Well, good magic is the only kind I can forgive. For all other kinds, the best remedy is to deny them and burn them away. I'm not used to these
Angles.
head turns and angles. I'm like, oh, they're moving. A typical answer for a child of man. Getting back to the point, knowing this much, I guess this means that the ghost Beatrice, who was called the ruler of Rikenjima's night, doesn't really exist. It's nothing more than a general term for any inexplicable occurrences that take place in the mansion after dark. In other words, Beatrice isn't the name of a person. It's the name of a phenomenon. If anything bizarre happens, it all becomes the work of the Golden Witch. The environment in which a witch could exist is what Beatrice is. That keeps on building on itself until we reach 1986. This is the veil that the true culprit is hiding behind, and the person hiding behind it is, without a doubt, a human. Perhaps that holds true at this point in the witch's tale of the past. However, I doubt you can use that argument alone to fight all the way through 1986, don't you?
Ridiculous. Wasn't that obviously because someone forgot to lock up?
Oh, well, you may say that, but this isn't just something that happened once or twice.
In other words, you're a klutz, a fool, and a moron of a servant who forgot to check not just once or twice, but many times over. Shannon isn't the only one. That same window was always opened even when other servants did their rounds.
Yeah, Mum even asked me if I had ever left a window open in the hall at night. I'd obviously absolutely nothing to do with it, but she still got pissed. Sheesh!
Ooh, I'm sure Beatrice wanted to gaze at the moon. Ooh.
It is a bit creepy to have that happen over and over at the same window. And that time when the kitchenware was piled up in the kitchen with the creepy magic circle scribbled there sounds even more freaky.
I kind of can imagine Maria doing that. They're like scribbling stuff and leaving it like, here is a present for the kitchen staff.
Well, she wouldn't have been there for it, probably.
True.
Yes. They said it was an eerie magic circle drawn with something like blood. Ever since then, people have been scared to patrol the kitchen.
About the case of that eerie magic circle in the kitchen, who witnessed that?
It wasn't me. I think I heard about it from a servant kid who quit. I wasn't on duty that day.
So, it's basically like this. Just like those exaggerated stories you hear about haunted locations all over the world, you servants like to have a little fun telling ghost stories about the nighttime mansion, right? You talk as though the witch exists and infect others with that belief. So, all of the eerie things that are supposedly done by Beatrice are baseless rumors, which are either the result of coincidence and accident or something that someone fabricated for fun. Is that what you're trying to say? Exactly. Of course, there's no way Beatrice exists.
Ooh, Beatrice exists.
I'm glad you understand so well, Battler-san.
She just pretty much ignored Maria as if she didn't say anything.
There's probably some person by that name, or else multiple persons of a fixed or unfixed number who do things and attribute it to that name. However, this delusion of a golden witch Beatrice that we're all thinking of is completely impossible.
Ooh! Ooh, ooh, ooh! Beatrice exists! I've met her!
Oh, could you tell me about it in detail? You met Beatrice? And did she show you magic or something?
Ooh! I see her all the time. Every time I come to Rikensima. And she always shows me fun magic.
Denying the existence of the witch would always have the immediate effect of infuriating Maria. However, Erica, who didn't know this trick to avoiding Maria's fury, plunged into it head on. But no matter how Maria tried to sell the idea of Beatrice's existence, she stood no chance of defeating the ruthlessly intelligent Erica in an argument. George and Jessica hurriedly tried to calm Maria down, but there could be no quelling her anger at this point.
Good. So, she showed you magic? Could you explain in detail what kind of magic?
She would always use magic to give me candy as a present. Beatrice can create candy with magic.
She just took it out of her pocket, didn't she?
No, she didn't. It was magic. It was incredible. Tons of candies poured out of an empty cup.
Wow, that's some awesome magic. That's right, that really would be magic.
Ooh, yeah, it was magic. It really was empty. I checked inside it myself.
Huh? What do you mean you checked inside it?
Give it a rest, Erica-san. She's just a kid.
Come to think of it, Erica-sama, would you like some more Yeah!
No, thank you. I'm having a seriously intellectual discussion over here with an 8-year-old. You outsiders can stay out of this. You'll have to tell me more in more detail, Maria-san. What do you mean when you say that you checked inside it?
I'm sorry, seriously, intellectual discussion and Maria just don't seem to go together in the same sentence.
Well, they don't.
Oh dear.
Fortunately, we have right here with us a teacup that's just been overturned and emptied. Come on, be my guest and reenact what happened then, okay? Let's see it if you would. Let's see it.
After holding the cup of black tea, which she had just overturned and was still dripping, upside down over the table, Erica slammed it down hard and slid it over to Maria. Erica's eyes glowed repulsively, like those of a snake about to snap up a frog. Those eyes were ice cold and had a madness in them that made one want to avert their gaze. On the other hand, Maria was glaring furiously, her whole body shaking uncontrollably in the greatest expression of anger that a human can manage. The look on her face was frightening, not at all what you'd expect from a 9-year-old girl.
1 year off.
Stop it, both of you. Ooh! Okay. Beatrice took the empty cup, and then she did this. She put it upside down on the table.
Yeah, and then what? Did she lift it right up away? Lift it up right away? And candies flowed out? Incredible, that really would be magic, right? It would be.
Battler and the others tried to get between the two and calm them down, but it was no use. They violently pushed aside the others, and, glaring at each other from so close that their foreheads banged together, they repeatedly slammed the upside-down cup on the table. The sound of their foreheads banging together and the cup being slapped down shattered the barrier between reality and illusion. Oh, wow. That's creepy.
It is magic. It is magic. Beato used magic to make candies appear.
Then why don't you reproduce it for us? Founder of Mariage Sorcière, Maria, the Witch of Origins.
Lady Erica, this opponent is not worth your time. The battle is not worth fighting.
Shut up, murder doll. Okay, how do you claim that the overturned cup was filled with candies?
Just turning the cup over won't make candies come out, because you have to use magic. Beato can use magic because she's a witch.
Oh yes, magic. She used magic. How did she use magic? Did she swing a magic wand and tap the cup to make candies pour out? No, that can't be it, right?
Beato is a witch, so she uses magic. Magic happens when you say an incantation and cause a miracle. You can't use the magic that makes candy unless you say the incantation.
Oh, sure, understood. Good, very good. Let's see this incantation. Let's see this magic. Come on, what kind of incantation would a witch use? What kind?
Come, try and picture it. The inside of the cup is filled with candies. Try and picture such a wonder.
Oh, and then what?
Look inside the cup. Look, the inside of the cup is filled with candy.
Maria grasped the overturned cup so tightly that it nearly cracked, and slowly lifted it up. Then, from the inside, several cute candies poured out. Maria looked at Erica with a full smile as if to say, "That showed you."
Good. And this is what you like to call Beatrice's magic, is it? Delano! That troll face. Beat her to death.
She's only 8 years old. As you wish.
I won't let anyone deny Beatrice's magic, because magic is magic.
Magic is impossible. You might be telling a lie about something that never happened.
Repetition demanded. Failure to respond will be a violation of Nox's 7th.
I'll respond. This is the truth. This is a story of something that really happened.
This wouldn't have anything to do with a trick in the actual cup or table, making this just a sleight of hand, right? That would be against the rules, wouldn't it?
Hidden devices and tricks are in violation of Nox's 3rd. However, if and only if foreshadowing has been presented, these are permitted by Nox's 8th. Nox's 3rd prohibits hidden doors and devices that have no clues pointing towards them. However, by presenting foreshadowing and clues that point towards the existence of said devices, Nox's 8th allows them to be used.
There were no tricks like that. It was just an ordinary table and an ordinary cup. So it was magic, not sleight of hand.
Understood. By Nox's 9th, we acknowledge that Lady Maria witnessed magic.
That's right, with the 9th at least. Observers are always allowed to speak their personal opinions. Otherwise, mysteries where the culprit is seen dressed up as a woman and it's written, "I saw a woman," would all be disqualified. Sure, that's fine. Claim that you saw magic all you want. All truths are nothing more than claims. So I'll make a different claim and see straight through yours to the truth. That's the detective's duty, and where we shine the most.
There's nothing to see through. This is magic.
Since it is magic, only witches can use it, right?
That's right. Only witches can use it.
So, if a human like me could use it too, that would mean it isn't magic, right?
But is she really human?
Yeah.
Is she just a tool?
On the game board, she's a human.
Alright.
You can't use it. Only Beata can use magic.
Good. Then why don't I show you? I'll make candy appear from out of this empty cup.
If you think you can, just try. Impossible, impossible, useless, useless. There's no way a human can do it.
Then please, please, please just sit and watch. Here we have an empty cup. Is that okay? It is, isn't it? Then we turn it over on the table like this.
It looks so like, oh.
I forgot her voice.
Let it be known that this fight has no purpose. Okay, can you say the incantation for creating candies? In fact, why don't we say it together? Come, try and picture it.
The inside of the cup is filled with candy. Try and picture such a wonder.
Stop! Maria-san, why did you close your eyes when you said the incantation? Why not witness the miracle of magic?
Humans are polluted by the anti-magic toxin. If a lowly human saw it, the miracle of magic would be wiped out of existence. That's why the rules say that lowly humans have to close their eyes when using magic.
I see. Okay, I understand the protocol for humans to follow when magic's being used. In other words, not once have you ever witnessed the moment that magic happened. Isn't that right? Look, it's done now. Please try and lift up the cup, okay? After all, I've used magic to make candies appear.
There's no way someone who makes fun of witches could use candy magic.
Then, if it actually does work, it'd be pretty amazing, huh?
After glaring at Erica with the utmost of malice, Maria slowly stretched her hand out towards the overturned cup. There was no way that Erica, someone who made fun of witches like this, could ever use magic. There was no way that there'd be candy there.
So, how's it look inside?
there lay a single candy wrapped with a cute wrapper.
See? This is magic, right?
Erica smiled gently. A look of disbelieving shock rose to Maria's eyes, along with envy for this person who could use the same magic as Beato.
Erika, you can use magic too?
See? It's magic, isn't it? What I did there?
Yeah.
So in other words...
Erica smiled pleasantly. She and Maria had finally reached a deep understanding.
Of course it isn't! While you had your eyes closed, I just lifted the cup up and tossed a candy in. You called that magic? It's just a third-rate trick! Yeah! There's my blue truth as the detective. Now, as the Witch of Truth, here's my red truth. Your so-called candy magic is nothing more than a sleight of hand. Just a sleight of hand that the fake witch calling herself Beatrice or whatever claimed was magic. I mean, seriously, did you really get fooled by such a stupid parlor trick? Any magic related by your perspective can't be trusted at all. Everything you ever thought was magic was just a trick that you didn't get. There's no way that was magic. There's no way magic exists. Huh?
Oh wait, that was me.
Yeah.
It might have been sleight of hand when you put candy in this cup, but that doesn't prove that Beato's magic was also sleight of hand. Who do you... However, you also can't prove that only magic could have done it. You rotten stuffed animal!
No, not Sakutaro!
Please allow me to speak.
Know that this is a meaningless battle.
You damn scraps of paper! Why'd you have to butt in at the good part?
That is enough. Lady Maria has been shown that the candy cup magic could possibly be a trick that she misunderstood to be magic. Therefore, her claim that it was magic is dismissed.
However, it might really have been magic when Maria saw it. Just because it can be done by sleight of hand doesn't disprove magic.
Well done, Lady Erica. Congratulations on crushing Lady Maria's illusion of the witch. An illusion of the witch occurs when someone tries to force the acknowledgement of magic by claiming that a thing would be impossible without it. It's how witches launch an attack. If someone's able to successfully argue back and show that it would be possible without magic, the illusion of the witch is defeated and the witch must retreat. The magic Maria claimed to have seen could have been a trick, so it was unqualified to be acknowledged as magic. However, that was only the result of this battle. It was still too early to bring the fight into the domain of denying Beatrice, the witch, and the magic that Maria believed in. However, battles always end instantly when your opponent surrenders. Erica had wanted to hit Maria with everything at once, defiling the witch and magic she believed in, and crushing it without a fragment of compassion.
Just one more step and I would have been able to take a heart as innocent as the smooth sand, just after a wave had pulled back, and tear it to bits. What a shame. This isn't any fun anymore. Are you satisfied now? Ouch! Ow, ow, ow!
Erica grumpily punched Eleanor's arm that had been restraining her. However, that cold, hard, marble-like arm just made Erica's hand hurt.
Diplomatic immunity. This battle is over. Allow me to speak. Diplomatic immunity accepted.
Know that this fight is childish.
Did you say something?
She did not. Let us withdraw. Lady Maria is no enemy of yours, Lady Erica. There is no need to pay attention to small fry such as this.
You're right. How childish of me, tearing a kid's dreams apart. I'm really sorry, okay? I apologize for my momentary lack of elegance. Let's go.
Erica and the others turned their backs on Maria, who was still crouching down limply. However, as detectives in famous mysteries have always done in the past, Erica clapped her hands, stopped, and turned around.
Oh, that's right. What do you think? Simply by the existence of the overturned cup, this level of reasoning was possible for Furuto Erica. What do you think, everyone?
Erica's merciless words gouged themselves into Maria's heart once more. Erica left, leaving an evil laugh behind her. After bowing to Maria and Sakutaro, Diddle-and-All left too. Gertrude and Cornelia followed suit. After that, only Maria and Sakutaro were left in the lonely Golden Land. Was that a crunch? There was a sound right there.
No, that was probably my finger on the mouse.
Oh.
Who do you...
Beato is a witch.
Who do you... Beato is a witch.
It was magic. It was magic.
It was magic. Beato used magic to give you candy. You don't need to doubt that. Who do you... Please believe in Beato. You know that magic can't bear fruit unless you believe.
Surrounded by an ice-cold drizzle that had started falling at some point, Maria cried quietly. Trying to at least protect her from the rain, Sakutaro used his large sleeves to cover Maria's head, and stayed there by her side.
Okay, let's go, Maria. Let's play cards together in the room upstairs.
Erica-san, as an adult, I can't say I was very impressed by that conversation just now.
My apologies. I'm still just a kid after all.
After seeing that wonderful candy magic brutally insulted by Erica, Maria had been crying non-stop.
I started noticing it as soon as the after-dinner quiz party. But your personality really is screwed up. Do you think this is fun? Do you like tearing a little kid's dreams apart?
But please stop, Butler-sama. Please, for my sake, don't push any further here. Please.
Shannon, who had been looking flustered, bowed her head deeply and implored Battler to stop. George, who didn't want Shannon pressured, fell in line.
Let's go. Let's spend this year in the cousin room again. We can watch TV and play cards.
I've heard that Erica-san has her own room. Shannon, please guide her there.
Oh, no need to bother yet. I'll relax down here for a little while longer. I want to savor it a bit.
What the hell are you trying to savor?
Battler and the others could no longer hide their irritation. They had no obligation to entertain their uninvited guest any further than this. Erica herself understood perfectly well that no place would welcome a detective. Battler and the others wanted to leave, and Erica wanted to stay. Neither had any desire to stop the other. Jessica urged Maria, who was still crying, to come along. Then Maria stopped and spun around.
Gonna prep.
That's me.
Got a problem?
They do exist here and there. Humans who are practically lumps of the toxin and don't believe in magic. There were lots of boys like you in my class. They don't believe in witches or magic or miracles or happiness. You can't become a witch if you let the toxin of people like that burn you to ashes. I may not look it, but I'm Beatrice's disciple. I'm the apprentice witch of origins.
Maria, who had been crying quietly a second ago, seemed to have been transformed into an entirely different person. She laughed, no, cackled eerily. Battler's group stiffened up at this sudden change, but Erica was watching calmly. Then she smiled and gave a small nod in response.
Good. You've got some guts. Good night, Miss Maria. Let's fight in a more challenging game next time.
Sure, let's. It's a promise.
You stop that too, Maria. Come on, let's go.
What about you, Shannon-chan? Come with us if you want, to play cards. Come on, join us for at least one round. It'll cheer you up.
Then, just for a bit.
Shannon couldn't remain in this suffocating lounge any longer, either. In part apologetic and in part trying to escape, she followed after Battler's group. After that, Erica was the only one left in the lounge. Still wearing a thin smile, she tapped a glass with her finger. There was a light chink, a surprisingly boring sound. Even so, Erica wore a thin smile, as though pleased.
Oh, sorry to keep you waiting. I was just in the bath. Oh, where is everyone?
You just missed them. They went up to the second floor. I'm the one who called you here. I've heard that you know a lot about the story of Akujikishima
Oh, yes, you finally get the hard words now.
and the tale of the Witch of the Forest.
Oh, yes, well, it is a trivial story, but...
I don't mind in the slightest if it's trivial. Would you like a drink to follow your path? Even I like to be helpful every now and then.
Erica stood up, opened the refrigerator behind the counter, and put ice into the ice pail.
It was poison.
No, not Kumasawa! She looks so youthful in the,
She just
new
came out
version.
of a bath. She was having one of those, mud baths.